बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। राधा रानी की जय। Just our close eyes. Try to meditate on Bhagwan Shri Krishna. अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। बरहापीडं नटवरवपु कर्णयो कर्णिकारं बिभ्रद्वासः कनककपिशं वैजयन्तीं च मालां रन्ध्रान् वेणु रधर सुधया पूरयन् गोपवृन्दैर् वृन्दारण्यं स्वपदरमणं प्राविशद्गीतकीर्ति। नमः कमलना भाय नमः कमलमालिने नमः कमलपादाय नमस्ते कमलेक्षण यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तद्गुं हदेवमात्मा बुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। Worshipful Panditji, devotees, dear devotees of the Lord, the divine souls. First, let me say Radhe Radhe to each and everyone, and my pranam, my humblest frustrations to all of you. Very special welcome to our viewers on social media also, Facebook, YouTube, and of course Bhakti TV. Radhe Radhe to each and everyone, and pranam also, my humblest frustrations to all of you. Before, as we always do as customary, let us chant the divine name of the Lord. As we tune ourselves, bring our minds in the peace, in the divinity, and bring in purity in everything and everywhere, chanting the divine name of the Supreme Lord. Radhe Radhe Govind Govind Radhe 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 Govind Govind Radhe Radhe
Radhe Govind Govind Radhe 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 Govind Govind Radhe.
O Radhe Radhe Govind राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे
हे राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे
हे राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे
ओ राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे
ओ राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे
राधे राधे
गोविंद
गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे
हे राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे
हे राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे
ओ राधे राधे बोल मन राधे राधे बोल मन गोविंद राधे जाने कब काल तेरा टिकट कटा दे
राधे राधे बोल
मन
गोविंद राधे
जाने कब
काल तेरा
टिकट
बता दे
हे जाने कब काल तेरा टिकट कटा दे
जाने कब काल तेरा टिकट कटा दे
ओ जाने कब काल तेरा टिकट कटा दे
जाने कब काल तेरा टिकट कटा दे
ओ राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद Radhe Govind Govind Radhe Radhe Radhe
Govind Govind Radhe 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 Govind Govind Radhe.
बोलिए वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय।
जय
There was a very, very great saint, greatest among saints, Jagat Guru Tam Shri Kripalu Mahaprabhu. It's only the fifth Mool Jagat Guru. Mool mean original. Before him there were only four. Jagat Guru Shankaracharya, Jagat Guru Nimbarkacharya, Jagat Guru Ramanujacharya, Jagat Guru Madhavacharya. Jagat Guru Tam Kripalu Mahaprabhu wrote many, many books. Prem Rans Siddhant, Prem Ras Madhira, Brajras Madhuri, thousands and thousands of lectures, etc. Thousands and thousands of bhajan and kirtan. One of the book, Radha Govind Gita, containing 11,111 couplets, all the philosophy of all the Vedas, Puran, Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata, etc. So I just sang one of the verse from the Radha Govind Gita. Radhe Radhe Bol Man, Govind Radhe, Jane kab Kal Tera Tikat Kata de. So this verse is saying, Radhe Radhe Bol Man, O mind. Man means the mind. Chant the name of God. Radha, Radhe Radhe is the name of Radha. Who is a Radha? Actually, Radha is another form of Shri Krishna. Yeyam Radha Yasha Krishno Rasabdit Dehas Chaikaha Kiranatad Vidha Bhut Atharva Vedi Radhika Tapani Upanishad. The Vedas say there is no difference between Radha and Shri Krishna. They don't even have two bodies. One supreme power has taken two forms, do roop. For what? Krida, Leela, divine pastime. So Radha is Krishna, Krishna is Radha. The scriptures again say, Radhika Krishna Rupam cha Krishno Radha Swarupakaha Sanak Kumar Sanghita. Radha Rani is the form of Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna is the form of Radha Rani. But even more than that, not only the form, the Vedas go on to say, Atma tu Radhika Tasya. Radha is the Atma, the soul of Shri Krishna. That's why Shri Krishna, even though they are one and the same Shri Krishna has become Radha, he worships the form known as Radha because it's his soul, Atma. Anyhow, so basically, chant the name of God, Radhe Radhe, Krishna Krishna, Govind Govind, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, any name. Chant the name all the time. Why? Jane binu Jane kab Kal Tera Tikat Kata. Who knows at which moment Yamraj can come, death can come. When the time comes, we have to go. There's no postponement. Not even 1 second extra is given. Life is very transient. Videhanimi, a very great devotee, Paramhans, just as Janak, the father of Mother Sita, is called Videha, meaning one who has no feeling of the body. It's called Paramhans. Neither see, hear, smell, taste, touch anything except Brahm, Brahm. He experiences the formless aspect of Sri Krishna everywhere. Nimi, King Nimi was also called Videha. Once he had the great fortune. He was performing a yagna, and 9 yogishwars, God among yogis, the 9 sons of Rishabh Bhagwan, came to bless him, to bless that yagna. The first thing, having worshipped them in the highest way, he then prayed and said to them, Durlabham manusham janma prarthate, Durlabham manusham janma, Durlabho manusho deho dehinam kshanabhangurah, Tatrapi durlabham manye vaikuntha priyadarshanam. Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran, 11 Canto, 2nd chapter, 29 verse. Videhanimi put his hands together and he said, first of all, this human body is extremely difficult, rare to attain. Durlabho. I've been doing Ram Gita, 5 sessions complete. And Bhagwan Shri Ram also is saying, Bare Bhagya Manush.
बड़े भाग्य मानुष तन पावा सुर दुर्लभ सदग्रंथ गावा जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम कबहू करी करुणा नर देही देत ईश बिनु हेतु सनेही जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
बड़े भाग्य मानुष तनु पावा सुर दुर्लभ सरगंध निगावा. It is the greatest fortune for the soul to get the opportunity to be given birth in the human form. There are 8.4 million. And the most important, most superior, the human body. How superior? Even devatas are praying and begging. Sur means devatas, those who live in the place called heaven. Agni, the god of fire. Vayu, the god of wind. Kuber, the god of wealth. Indra, the king of heaven, the god of rain. They are praying and begging to get this thing we have called human body, and they can't. Kabahuk kari karunanar dehi det ishya binu hetu sanehi. Again, Bhagwan Shri Ram says to the residents of Ayodhya, very rare, very seldom does the Supreme Lord, who loves the individual soul without any self-interest, bestow upon it birth in the human form. Only when He showers His grace. And very rare. Gives us a chance again. Because we never make the proper use of it. Why? What is the use of human birth and why it's so valuable and what we need to do with it? Very few know. We just use it to enjoy the world, enjoy the senses, have a good time. Very few make the proper use of this thing called human. Why devatas are praying? They are having a better time than us in heaven. In heaven, there is no old age. There is no disease, physical disease, no COVID, no arthritis, no headache, no fever. All the mental diseases are there. Greed, anger, jealousy, hatred, lust. But no physical disease. No old age. They don't suffer from hunger and thirst. Their bodies are untouched by dirt. They don't have to take bath. They don't perspire. All the problems of this human body in the material world, they don't have. They're having a good time, drinking the som juice, enjoying. If that's what this human body is, they're having better time than us, enjoying the senses. And yet they are praying for this thing. Because what we can do in this, they cannot do. They cannot do bhakti. They cannot do bhakti. They cannot attain God realization. Only in this, it is called purusharth. The action we perform, it bears fruits. So he's saying, Durlabho manusho deho. The human birth, the human body is extremely rare, difficult to attain. Number one. Number two, kshana bhangur. Durlabho manusho deho dehinam kshana bhanguraha. Kshana bhangur means non-lasting, transient. At which moment we can lose it, nobody knows. No one knows. And even more rare and difficult, Vaikuntha Priya Darshanam, to have the association of a true guru, a true saint. So this is so transient. You know, there was a saint, his name was Narayan. He said something very important. I was saying this in the car recently to someone. The transient nature. He said, Do batan ko bhool mat, do batan ko bhool mat, jo chahat kalyan, jo chahat kalyan, Narayan ik maut ko, Narayan ik maut ko, dujo Shri Bhagavan. Dujo Shri Bhagavan. If you want, what is beneficial for you? Jo chahati kalyan. What is beneficial? What is helpful? What is good for you? Then two things you should never forget. Always remember this. What are two things? Number one, Narayan ik maut ko. Maut means death. think about death, remember death. Ooh, I don't want to think about that. I don't want to die. Acha. So by thinking I don't want to die, you will not die. Remember that any moment it can happen. You see, we are very careless, we are lazy, we keep putting off, procrastinating. We don't do what we are supposed. We make all kind of excuses not to do, especially when it comes to worshiping God. The thing that human birth has been given for. An example is given of a bee. Ratir gamishyati bhavishyati suprabhatam bhasvanudeshyati hasishyati pankajashri. A bee entered into a lotus flower. The bees, they go in the flower and they suck the nectar, the pollen. They get nectar. And from that they are able to make honey. So this bee was sucking the sweet nectar of that lotus flower in the pollen. As dusk approached, lotus flower, by nature it closes in. The flower blooms, lotus flower in the day, and in night it closes. So it started to close the petals of the lotus flower. And the bee thought, soon the night will pass away. In the morning, the sun will rise, and when the rays of the sun will strike the petals of the lotus, it will open up the flower, the petals will open, and I'll fly away. In the meantime, I'll spend the whole night enjoying the sweet nectar. But something happened. Itham vichintayati ko shagate dvirepe ha hanta hanta nalinim gaja ujjahara. Sukti. Gaj, an elephant, came to that pond that had the lotus flower to drink water. Elephants roam in the night. So it came to the pond to drink water. And while it was drinking the water, it broke off the lotus flower that had the bee and swallowed it down. Together with the bee in the water, and that's with the end of that bee and all his wonderful plans. In the same way, bhaiya, we make plans. We make plans. I have to do this. People ask, why don't you make some time for God, meditate, do some sadhana? I am so busy. Man, I have so much things to do. I have to work. I have children. I'm a householder. I can't find time. Can you find time to die? We can't find time. We complain, we say, and use those same people, we have a lot of time to go on the WhatsApp and TikTok, social media, Facebook, YouTube, a lot of time. But when it comes to worshiping Bhagwan, to doing sadhana, that which will uplift us, we don't have time. I will do it. Swamiji, I'll do it. Not now, man. I don't have, later. Next year, next month. Let me finish all. I have to build this house. I have to do this. I have to do that. When I do all that, then I will sit down and I will do meditation. I will do sadhana. And tomorrow you die. What's going to happen to the house you're going to build? What happened to all the business and the money you're going to make? All these plans, what's going to happen? This life is very transient. We don't know. Next moment is not guaranteed. We die. And we never did anything. And then what happens? In Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says, Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram. Tam tamevaiti kaunte sada tadbhava bhavita. So that will come. We're not here forever. Death to the body, of course. We come in this world for a certain time. Kuch samay ke liye. This is already determined. This is already determined. Ayuhu karma cha vittam cha vidyani dhanameva cha panchaitani siddhyante garbhastasyaiva dehinaha. Hitopadesh. The scripture says, Ayuhu, duration of life, how long we'll live for. Karma, what kind of interest we'll have. Whether we'll be a teacher, a doctor, an engineer, garbage man. Wit, how much wealth is going to come to us easily. Because with the dan, charity, that's how wealth comes. You do not do dan, you don't give charity, the punishment, besides having to go hell, etc., next time you get human birth, you'll be born very poor. Dariddhata. Dan is very important and in the right place. You give it in the wrong. That same dan can send you to hell. That same dan can bring you in this material world, make you very wealthy. That same dan can take you to heaven. That same dan can take you to Bhagavan. Deshe kale cha patre cha tad danam satvikam smitam. Chapter 17 verse 20 Gita. Shri Krishna says to Arjun, Patra ke anusar phal milega. According to the vessel, according to where you give the dan, that's the benefit you will get. And there are four patra, four vessels that we can give. Tamasic, Rajasic, Sattvic, and Nirgun or Divya. Tamasic dan, you give it to a person who is tamasic. He uses it to do wrong things. To take drugs, to drink alcohol, to fight, to kill. You go to hell. They are going and you are going to. You give it to a Rajasic person, use it in a Rajasic way, become in this material world or hell also. You give it to a Sattvic person or use it in a Sattvic way, Yagya, Bilan Mandir, making place for people, accommodation. In places of pilgrimage, sometimes people go, very poor people, and they cannot afford, so they build something called Dharamshala. It's very cheap, almost nothing. They can stay. Two things like that. Sattvic will give sattvic fruit. You will be born very rich, you go to heaven, etc. And you give it to Nirgun, Divya. In other words, you give it to a saint. Use it towards Bhagavan to increase in your devotion. Especially given to a divine entity, saint who is God personified. This can take us to Bhagavan. Dan is important. But so that will determine how much wealth will come easily. We can get more, but you have to work very hard. Vidya, how much knowledge will come easily. Here also you can get more, but you have to work hard. Nidhanamevacha, the moment we will die and how we will die, is determined the moment the child is conceived in the womb of the mother, and nobody can change that. Naraji, Doha. Naraji that great saint Rishi Muni Narad, who is also called Brahm, Bhagavan, he sent to Himalaya, the father of Parvati in the Ramayana.
कहा मुनीस हिमवंत सुनो, जो विधि लिखा लीलार, हो रामा जो विधि लिखा लीलार। देवदनुज नरनाग मुनि, को न मेट निहार, हो रामा को न मेट निहार। सियावर रामचंद्र कर जय शरणम, शंकर हरिओम जय जय सिया राम, जय जय सिया राम, जय जय सिया राम।
Narad ji said, Himalaya, O Himant, O Himalaya, listen. Suno, listen to what I'm saying. Jo vidhi likha lilad. Vidhi means Brahma. Brahma. With four heads, the creator. Whatever he writes in our destiny, the one who writes our destiny, Brahma. Where does he write it? Jo vidhi likha lilad. He writes on the forehead. Bhala likhitam. And where does he get it from? Purva janma kritam karma tad daivamiti kathyate hitopadesh. The scripture says, the action we perform in our past life, through the free will that God has given to us, that becomes our destiny in the next lifetime. We are the maker of our destiny. God gives us free will. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala hetu bhurmate sangosta karmani. Chapter 2 verse 47 Gita. Shri Krishna says, I give you free will, I give you the right to perform action, free will. Do whatever you want. But I don't give you the right to determine the fruit. Ma phaleshu kadachana. Shri Krishna reserves the right. He says, I will give the fruit accordingly. You do good actions, you get good fruit. You do bad actions, you get bad fruit. Don't blame anyone. Don't blame anyone. Destiny doesn't fall from the sky. Bhaiya is not written in any book. We are the maker of destiny. The actions we perform in the present life is called Purusharth. Actions that bears fruit, good or bad. In the next life, the name changes. In this life is called Purusharth, Kriyaman Karma. In the next life, the name changes to Bhagya, predestination, destiny. That's all. The name changes. We are the maker of our destiny. And according to that, Brahma, he takes a tiny, this huge big storehouse, uncountable, infinite. He takes a tiny drop and he gives it to us in any lifetime. That is called destiny, prarabdha, which we have to work out. To Deva, Danuja, Naranag, no Devata, no celestial God, no Rakshas, Danuj, no human being, Nar, no Nag, no Rishi, Muni, nobody can change. Recently I was given a lecture and I mentioned this. A lady came afterwards and said to me, who are you? I give my name. Where are you from? I said, so and so. He said, look, I am very close to Shivji. I have close contact with him. And I don't accept what you say. Okay, no problem. So much problem. She has close contact with Shivji, but endless problem. And she know how to fix it. Fine, go ahead. So people do say, we can fix it. I can fix it for you, don't worry. Bhagwan, scripture is saying, Ramayana is saying, no one can change. And yet there are people, I can change it. You better than Bhagwan? It's okay, no problem. I'm not going to argue with you. You have that power. You are close contact with Shivji. I don't have that contact. I can't change anything. I can't change for me. How can I change for you? What is in this lifetime? What is written? That stays like that. Vasishtha Muni, that great Rishi Muni, Vasishtha Ji, says to Bharat Ji in the Ramayana,
सुनहु भरत भावी प्रबल बिलखी कहु मुनिनाथ हो राम बिलखी कहु मुनिनाथ हानि लाभ जीवन मरण जश अपजश विधि हाथ सिया पति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम प्रभु.
When Bharat Ji, I told you last time, I think that Bharat and Shatrughan had gone to the home of Nani and Nana, Kaikeyi's parents. And Dasharatha had died, Ram was banished. When Bharat Ji returned and he was told, first they said, bring him quickly and don't tell him anything. But when he came, he was told everything. Bharat Ji became inconsolable, crying. Vasishtha, the Guru, Muninath, topmost among saints, he says, listen Bharat Ji, Bhavi Prabal, destiny is very powerful. Hani Labh, loss, gain, Jivan Maran, life, death, Yash Apajash, fame, dishonor, are all in the hands of destiny. In other words, we, by our action, that's already planned out. We can't blame Bhagwan. Bhagwan says, look, I've just given the fruit, bhaiya. Why are you blaming me? I give you free will. But Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshyosti na priyah. Chapter 9 verse 29 Gita. Bhagwan says, neither is anyone dear to me, nor is anyone hateful. I look at everyone equally. I am Samadarshi, I am a supreme court judge. I sit in the heart of every living being, everyone, and I take note. And I reward you or punish you accordingly because of what you have done. I tell you what to do and you don't listen. And then you'll blame me. You blame the neighbor. Blame somebody. No one can change it. So that verse I told you, when the life is leaving the body, Tyajatyante kalevaram. Kalevaram means the body. The life is leaving the body. Whatever you remember at that time, yamyam bhapi smaram. Smaran means remember. That's what we're going to go, where we're going to become, where we're to be attained in the next life. And what are we going to remember? At that time, what we're going to remember? Wherever we are attached, what we love, what we are attached to. There's a katha in Bhagavad Mahapuran. A great and soul known as Jar Bharat. Rishabh Bhagwan, the descension of Sri Krishna, Rishabh Dev, he had 100 sons. The eldest one was called Bharat. He ruled the world for 10 million years. The whole world, one king. Then he renounced everything, gave it to the sons. In a detached manner, he ruled the world. His mind was totally detached. He was Paramhans while ruling. Had no attachment for any person, anything. Desiring to get closer to Bhagwan, he divided the entire world to his sons and he went in the forest. There's a river called Gandaki Nadi. This river is what we call Nepal today. It's all India before. This river is very special. There's a mountain near the river and insects, they go and they cut the stones in the mountain and it falls in that river. And it's a black stone. That whatever comes out is a black stone. And because it's been cut by these insects, somehow they make the weapon of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. The discus, the Sudarshan Chakra is carved out. So only the stones that is gotten from the river, that Gandaki Nadi, are considered to be true Shaligram. That form of Shri Krishna we worship as a little black stone, Shaligram. It's called Shaligram. He was given a shrap by Tulsi, by Brinda, Tulsi. So only the one from that Gandaki Nadi. So on the bank of the Gandaki Nadi, there was an ashram. And rishis and munis and saints only stayed there. So Bharat was so great. This whole world at one time was known as Ajanab Varsh. Because of Bharat, it became known as Bharat Varsh. The name changed because of him. Anyhow, he went in this ashram and started doing sadhana. I tell you, we have to do sadhana. He started doing more sadhana. He was already doing, but now he has no worry of kingdom, anything. Before he was king, so he was very busy also. Couldn't give himself 100%. So now, fully, 100%, nothing else to do. In the ashram, you don't have to cook any food. These saints, the rishis and munis, they had just ate Whatever they got there. Fruits, roots, bulbs, whatever they get in the forest. No cooking. Just to keep the body. And that's more healthy. You fry and deep fry and kill it. We kill the food and then we eat it. So he could absorb himself fully in bhakti, in dhyan, meditation of Bhagwan. One day he was sitting on the bank of the Gandaki Nadi. A deer came to drink water. While the deer was drinking the water, suddenly a lion roared. The natural enemy of a deer is a lion. The deer, when the lion roared, she became so scared, but the deer was pregnant. She had a baby in the womb. She got so scared when that lion roared, she jumped over the whole river. And when she jumped, the baby that was in the womb fell out. She had a miscarriage. And that deer ran away, went in some cave, and because of exertion and the miscarriage, the deer died. Now the baby that fell in the water started drowning, newborn baby. Bharatji was there doing his sadhana, and he saw the whole thing. Overcome with compassion, he dove into the water, took out the baby deer, resuscitated it, and started taking care. And he got attached. Paramhans, remember I told you, Paramhans. Millions of years he wasn't attached to anyone, anything, and suddenly now he became attached. You see, baby animals, baby people, they're very cute. It's easy to get attached. He got attached, taking care of this baby there. This is a Maya. This is called Vidya Maya. This is a Maya. That Maya caught hold of him. And he got attached. He would worry when the deer would go to feed, that he hoped no wild dogs that were has eaten it, no lion, that the deer got her fill. Sometimes the deer took long, and instead of meditating on Bhagwan, he's thinking about the deer. Always the deer would come while he's doing his sadhana and nuzzle up to him, and then he would leave sadhana and start playing, coddling the deer. He got very attached. As time passed, Bharat, because he had so much spiritual power, he knew the time was approaching for him to die, to leave the body. So he called the disciples in the ashram. He had many disciples, and told them, bring that deer. Now it's not a baby anymore. It's gotten quite big. I love the deer. And they brought the deer, and very close, and then he put a hand on the deer and started playing with her, fondling the deer. He said, this deer, I love her so much. She's very dear to me. Please take care of her when I leave. I'm about to leave. And while doing that, the life left the body. His mind attached to the deer. What happened? In the next life, he had to be born as a deer. One thing happened special, because he was very high spiritually, but the divine law still worked there. Even though he was very high spiritually, in that even in the body of a deer, he retained all the knowledge of the past life. We don't even remember. Forget animal. We don't remember our past life. Yet, Bharat had all the memory in the body of a deer. That he never stayed with the mother deer, father deer, brother, sister. He left everyone. and went back to the same ashram. The rishis and munis and would only eat what they left. It's called Mahaprasad. When a saint eats and leaves, Mahaprasad. Very quickly he quit the body and took birth again. Anyhow, so Jar Bharat, his mind was attached. It's Paramhans. So whatever we are attached, we'll remember that time. This is why he's telling us. Chant the name. Take the name every moment. Because we don't know. Next moment, we die and we're thinking about some foolishness in the world. And what's going to happen to us? We weren't thinking about Bhagwan. Our thoughts was in this material world, and sometimes it could be the dirtiest thing, the dirtiest place. And according to divine law, even Bharat, he was so high spiritually. Paramhans. He had to be taken, he had to take birth in the body of a deer. This is why the saint Jagat Gurutam Kripalu Mahaprabhu is exhorting us. Chant the name of the Lord in your mind. Meditate on the Lord. Meditate on Radha Rani, Shri Krishna. As we have no guarantee. So we'll do bhajan. Since he's telling us to chant, to take God's name. Page 17. आजा पे 17 आजा मेरी राधे आके ना जा मेरी राधे
आजा मेरी राधे आके ना जा मेरी राधे
ओ आजा मेरी राधे ओ राधा रानी हे श्री कृष्ण please come to me and haven't come never leave again. Well, once God come will never leave. उरम में ही रहा आजा बाहर. You still God is sitting in the heart. Radha Rani, Shri Krishna. I want to see your divine form. Please come out in front of me. Oh, Aja Meri Radhe Aake, Naja Meri Radhe.
Aja Meri Radhe Aake, Naja Meri Radhe.
Ur mein hi raha, Aja bahar Radhe.
Ur mein hi raja bahar Radhe.
O झलक अधिका जा पुनी जा जा ब्रज राधे.
झलक दिखा जा पुनी जा जा ब्रज राधे.
ओ आजा आजा
राधे.
ओ आजा आजा
राधे.
ओ आजा आजा
राधे.
ओ आजा मेरी राधे आके ना जा मेरी राधे.
आजा मेरी राधे आके ना जा मेरी राधे.
जो ना आ तो आके जो ना आ तो आके कहो नहीं आऊ राधे.
जो ना तो आके कहो नहीं आऊ राधे.
आया ना आउर में दे बिरहाग राधे.
आया ना और मेरे विरहाग राधे.
ओ आजा आजा
राधे.
ओ आजा आजा अरे आजा आजा ओ आजा आजा राधे आके ना जा मेरी राधे.
आजा आजा राधे आके ना जा मेरी राधे.
ओ आजा आजा राधे आके ना जा मेरी राधे.
आजा आजा राधे आके ना जा मेरी राधे.
रोता रहो तब दर्शन हित राधे.
रोता रहूं तव दर्शन हित राधे।
हो रोता रहूं तव दर्शन हित राधे।
रोता रहूं तव दर्शन हित राधे।
ओ आजा आजा अरे आजा आजा ओ आजा आजा ओ आजा आजा राधे आके ना जा मेरी राधे।
आजा आजा राधे आके ना जा मेरी राधे।
जित देखूं तित तो ही दिखे नित राधे।
जित देखो तित तो ही दिखा नित राधे।
ओ जित देखो तित तू ही दिखे नित राधे।
जित देखो तित तो ही दिखे नित राधे।
ओ आजा आजा ओ आजा आजा अरे आजा आजा ओ आजा आजा राधे आके ना जा मेरी राधे।
आजा आजा राधे आके ना जा मेरी राधे।
प्रेम निष्काम चाहो तब प्रेम निष्काम एक चाहू तब राधे।
प्रेम निष्काम एक चाहू तब राधे।
ओ प्रेम निष्काम एक चाहू तब राधे।
प्रेम निष्काम एक चाहू तब राधे।
ओ आजा आजा अरे आजा आजा ओ आजा आजा ओ आजा आजा राधे आके ना जा मेरी राधे।
आजा आजा राधे आके ना जा मेरी राधे।
ओ आजा आजा राधे आके ना जा मेरी राधे।
आजा आजा राधे आके ना जा मेरी राधे।
तेरी अष्टयामी सेवा चाहू बस राधे।
तेरी अष्टयामी सेवा चाहू बस राधे।
ओ तेरी अष्टयामी सेवा चाहूं बस राधे।
ओ तेरी अष्टयामी सेवा चाहू बस राधे।
ओ आजा आजा अरे आजा 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 ओ आजा आजा राधे आके ना जा मेरी राधे।
आजा आजा राधे आके ना जा मेरी राधे।
ओ आजा आजा राधे आके ना जा मेरी राधे।
आजा आजा राधे आके ना जा मेरी राधे।
तेरी कृपा में ना कमी मेरी कमी 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 राधे।
All the lines are very important. Fill of philosophy. When a bhajan kirtan is written by a saint, divine entity, it is divine. Because whatever God, a saint is writing, Bhagwan himself is writing. Jo kare so hari kare. A worldly person is writing these worldly filmy songs and filmy bhajan. It's all useless. God's name is there, but philosophy is wrong. And there's no spiritual power. Anyhow, so this line is saying, Teri kripa mein na kami, meri kami radhe. We beg in God to shower the grace upon us. Hey Shri Krishna, Hey Radha Rani, Shri Ram, Hey Shivji, please shower your grace on me. Kripa, kripa, kripa. So, is it that God is very selfish? That they're going to lose something? Doesn't want to give. If they give it, they will lose something? If Radharani, Shri Krishna showers their grace upon us, are they going to lose something? No. God is Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnata Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. The Vedas say God is such an entity that if you subtract infinite, they remain infinite. Never can finish. Nothing which God has can finish. His grace, His kripa, His divine love, divine knowledge, everything infinite. So it means that we are lacking. There's a condition for attaining God's grace and we have not fulfilled it. What is the condition? Doing nothing. Doing nothing. The only thing we have to do is stop doing anything. Woo. So lie down, sleep. No. That's not the performer of the action. The Vedas tell us, Man eva manushyanam karnam bandha mokshayoho brahma bindu upanishad. Second mantra. This mantra comes many places, many other Upanishads. It also comes Narad Puran, Narad Pancharatra, etc. Very important mantra. Man, the mind. Ev, alone. Manushyanam, human beings, we people. Karanam is the cause, bandhan of bondage, moksha, liberation. The mind alone. God is Vedas. In other words, God is saying, the Vedas are the words of Bhagavan. Nihasvasitamasya Vedaha Jaki Sahaj Shwasa Shruti Chari. God took a breath and the Vedas appeared. It is His words, His Bhagavan. God is saying, the mind alone is the cause of bondage as well as liberation. In other words, God knows our thoughts and ideas, not the physical action. We give a lot of importance. Somebody is doing puja 3 hours, 10 hours. We think, oh, such a great. Where's the mind? Nobody pay attention where the mind is. Somebody is doing jap. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate. They're doing job. They're thinking, I have to go and meet Pandit Chetram. I have to go and meet Indira. I have to go to the grocery. I have to go and buy this thing, that thing. And they're doing, in other words, physical drill. The mind is in the world. I've seen people in stores. They're buying something and there's a bag that you keep the mala in. They're doing job inside with the, it's hidden, so they say you shouldn't see it when you're doing job. So they're doing the job. Hey, what is the price of this? People come to me, hey, what is your name? Hare Ram, Hare Ram. What? They're doing job. Once I was sitting with a number of people. They were sitting around a tulsi tree and they were doing jap, Mahamantra. And they said, Swamiji, will you join us? I said, yeah, no problem. So they give me a mala also. And they said, we have to do so many malas. I said, okay. In about 2 malas, some started falling asleep. Yawning and I'm like, all is concentrating. I have to do so many malas, that's all. No attachment to Bhagavan. The mind is, and this is what Bhagavan is noting. And that's why we don't benefit. You do million mala, nothing. You're still attached in the world. You still have greed, anger, jealousy, hatred, lust. negative thoughts, finding faults, gossiping. No change spiritually. And you're doing so much. And you're boasting about it. I do so much mala. And what happened to you? Something should change. Because it's all physical drill. So the mind is the performer of the action. So whether you're lying down, whether you're sitting, whatever, your mind is still working. You're thinking. Even while we are sleeping, we are dreaming. The mind is in action. One place the mind stops functioning when we go in deep sleep. It's called Shushupti Avastha. Otherwise, we are thinking. And once you're thinking, that's action. Every moment. This is why Bhagavan Krishna says in Gita, Nahi kashit kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karma krit. It is impossible to be inactive even for a moment. Now, if people, we don't understand that mind is the performer and people think, I'm sitting now, I'm not doing anything. Would this Sri Krishna is lying? What does he mean? No one can be inactive even for a moment. I'm lying down, I'm not doing anything. What does he mean? No one can be inactive even for a moment. This is stated in Gita chapter 3 verse 5. Until and unless we understand it is the mind alone which is the performer of the action, and we cannot understand what he said. What he means when he says no one can be inactive even for a moment. Well, we'll think he's lying. So the mind. So it is the mind that has to be surrendered. Surrendered means given the mind. Bhagavan Krishna says, so the condition for attaining God's grace, complete surrender, doing nothing. He says, Daivi hesha gunamai mama maya duratyaya Mamevaye prapadyante maya meta antarantite. Chapter 7 verse 14 Gita. Maya. Bhagavan says Maya is a divine power. He's saying to Arjun. And it's a power that belongs to Sri Krishna. He says, Mama Maya, it's my Maya, my power. So no one, no Rishi, Muni, Jnani, Yogi, no one can become free from Maya by their own effort. How to be free? Mamev, ev, alone. Mam, to me. Mamev ye prapadyante. Only the one who completely surrenders to Shri Krishna, he said, can be free from Maya. This is his condition, complete surrender. And surrender means what? If somebody take a gun and point to you, what do? Hands up. Huh? You do nothing. You don't take the hand and put it in the pocket. They'll shoot you. But it doesn't mean doing nothing in terms of physical activity. So Shri Krishna tells Arjun in chapter 12 of Gita, Mai eva mana adhasva mai buddhim niveshaya. Chapter 12 verse 8, he's explaining what surrender means. He says, Arjun, give your mind and intellect to me. That's all I'm asking for. In other words, stop thinking. When it comes to God, when it comes to the true Guru, the scripture, don't apply your mind, your intellect. That is surrender. Guru says, do this, a true Guru, you are under the shelter of a true Guru, and he says, do this, he gives agya, instruction. Guruji said this, but I think I should do that. We follow our mind, that's called manmani. That's not surrender. Agya palan. When you meet a true Guru, the true Guru, you do, because he alone, that's why he's Guru, because he knows what is best for you, don't know. That's why we need Guru. then we have to do what he tells us. Of course, has to be true Guru. If he's on the Maya and you on the Maya, then God help you. The Vedas tell us. Avidyaya mantare vartamana swayam dhira panditam manyamana janghanyamana paryanti mudha andhe naivaniyamana yathandha. Mundak Upanishad, first Mundak, second Kand, 8th mantra. The Veda says, people who read the Vedas, the scriptures, and interpret it materially, they're not divine, so they will be very educated. They've read a lot of scriptures. They know Ramayana by heart, Gita by heart. They know a lot of Ved mantras, but they give a material interpretation. They interpret the Vedas to mean get in the world, enjoy in the world. They are fools. Mudha. And people who believe in them and go to them, make them guru, the Vedas say, andhe naiva niyamana yathandha. The word andhe means blind. Andha is a case of blind leading the blind. That's why I said, God help you. Because he is blind and you are blind. This place here is Chin Chin Trace, right? Somebody say, I heard that there is reading tonight at Pandit Chetram's place for his brother. I want to go there. He's all the way in Jerningham Junction, the junction itself. Still distance away. At least 2 miles. I want to go, but he's blind. Hey, can someone tell me how to go to Pandit Chetram Maharaj, place where the Satsang is? And he's shouting like this. So there's another blind fella, and he thinks he doesn't know I am blind. He says, hey, blind man, come here. You hold my hand and I will take you. So one blind man hold the hand of another blind man. And it's a very busy road. Either they're going to fall along in a drain, something will hit them, they'll die. Blind leading the blind. Veda say. We have to go. Sri Krishna says, Jnaninaha Tattvadarshinaha. Who to ask from? He tells us to ask. Tadviripranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Ask question. Pariprashnena. But from whom? Jnaninaha Tattvadarshinaha. He qualifies who we have to ask from. One who is, there are 2 qualities he must have. Number 1, Jnaninaha. Meaning he has knowledge of all the scriptures. Complete knowledge. All the Vedas, all the Puranas. Not just Ramayana, Gita, Bhagavad, all the scriptures. And he's able to remove our doubts. But even more important, Tattvadarshina, he has seen God, he has seen, attained God. If you find such a person, if you're so fortunate, not easy to find. Very difficult. If you're so blessed to find the true, what we call the true Guru, bona fide saint, then ask. Number 1, Tadviripranipatena, completely surrender to him. Yes, because he alone knows what's good. Don't apply your mind and intellect. Number 2, ask. You have doubt, you don't understand. Ask. Number 3, do seva, serve him. He will give you Krishna. He will give you all the knowledge, everything. So, Shri Krishna is saying, give the mind and intellect. Don't apply the mind and intellect. When it comes to the true Guru, when it comes to God, it comes to the scripture, this is surrender. We are lacking in that. Because we keep using our mind. Guru say, do this. Some of us have had the fortune of meeting a true Guru, a true saint. And he has instructed us. He's told us everything. We know what to do. But we listen to our crazy mind. We do manmani. So whose fault? So this is why the verse is saying, Radha Rani is not, you're not lacking. It's not that you don't, she shower in her grace, Shri Krishna shower in his grace day and night on everyone. The lacking is with me. I am not made the vessel, I'm not surrendered. That's why I'm not getting your grace, your kripa. There's a whole lecture by itself. One line. आजा मेरी राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
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 ओ आजा मेरी राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
आजा मेरी राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
ओ आजा आजा अरे आजा आजा ओ आजा आजा ओ आजा आजा राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
आजा आजा राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
तेरी कृपा में ना कमी मेरी कमी राधे
तेरी कृपा में ना कमी मेरी कमी राधे
ओ तेरी कृपा में ना कमी मेरी कमी राधे
तेरी कृपा में ना कमी मेरी कमी राधे
ओ आजा आजा अरे आजा आजा ओ आजा आजा ओ आजा आजा राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
आजा आजा
राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
दुख में भी तेरी कृपा मानू मेरी राधे
दुख में भी तेरी कृपा मानो मेरी राधे
ओ दुख में भी तेरी कृपा मानू मेरी राधे
दुख में भी तेरी कृपा मानो मेरी राधे
ओ आजा आजा अरे आजा आजा ओ आजा आजा ओ आजा आजा राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
आजा आजा राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
तो है कृपालु क्यों कठोर बनी राधे
तू तो है कृपालु क्यों कठोर बनी राधे
ओ तू तो है कृपालु क्यों कठोर बनी राधे
तू तो है कृपालु क्यों कठोर बनी राधे
ओ आजा आजा अरे आजा आजा ओ आजा आजा ओ आजा आजा राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
आजा आजा राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
ओ आजा आजा राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
आजा आजा राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
ओ आजा आजा राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
आजा आजा राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
ओ आजा आजा राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
आजा आजा राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
ओ आजा आजा ओ आजा आजा अरे आजा आजा ओ आजा मेरी राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
आजा मेरी राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
ओ आजा आजा राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
आजा आजा राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
ओ आजा आजा राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
आजा आजा राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
ओ आजा आजा राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
आजा आजा राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
ओ आजा आजा राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
आजा आजा राधे आके नाजा मेरी राधे
आजा आजा राधे आके
ना जा मेरी राधे
आजा
आजा।
आजा राधे आके ना जा मेरी राधे।
राधा रानी की जय। So we all have a wonderful opportunity, a golden opportunity, and we cannot blame anyone when we don't make the right use of this wonderful opportunity we have, this human birth, this human body. As I said, even Devatas, people pray to Devatas. Indraya Namaha Swaha, Agnaye Namaha Swaha, Vave Namaha Swaha. And the same Devatas, they are praying and begging Bhagwan for this thing we call human body. Because only in this we can do Purusharth. We go to heaven, we also go. We have been there uncountable times. We enjoy for some time and we have to come back right here. Tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam kshine punye martyalokam vishanti evam taidham anupapana gatagatam kam kamalabhante. Chapter 9 verse 21 Gita. Shri Krishna says when we perform dharma etc. we acquire something called punya, spiritual merits, which will determine in Kali Yuga almost impossible, very difficult. But if we can do it, we acquire something called punya, which will determine which heaven we will go to. There are many. And for how long. But Shri Krishna says once you go there and you start enjoying the pleasures of heaven, something happens. Kshine punya. That punya starts destroying. As you enjoy, it destroys. You put money in the bank, you start using, it gets less until it's one day it's going to finish. Every week you put $1 million and every week you withdraw 10,000. 10 week, finish. Well, 100,000. Not $1 million. You have to take out 100,000 every month. Anyhow, 10, let's suppose you have 100,000, you put, every week you decide to have a party, big party. You withdraw 10,000 every week. And then after 10 weeks, you go to try to withdraw again. The bank, the clerk says, hey, you don't have any money. What? Hey, lady, I deposited $100,000 in the bank. Call the manager. Yes, sir, no problem. Look, let me show you the balance. Here is your deposit. These are your withdrawals. Total, 0. You mean I've become a beggar? Yes. In the same way, one day it finishes in heaven and then we'll be kicked out. And we have to start all over again. Uncountable times. That's why they also want to get this. Because only, as I told you, in the human body we can do bhakti, which will take us to Bhagwan. We never have to come back here. That's why Devatas are also praying. But there's a problem. It is transient, non-lasting. At which moment we can lose it, nobody knows. So that's why we should not procrastinate. Do what you have to do now. Start doing bhakti, sadhana now. Not tomorrow, not next week. Right now. There's much more. We'll hear some other time. Bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Srimad Sadguru Sarkar ki jai. Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe.